didn't I go for the chord change sooner than it actually arrived? We've got some sour notes in there. Hey folks, how you doing? Nick Jennison. It is the Monday Guitar Show. We're doing the thing that we do on Mondays, which is hang out and chat about the guitar. It is our first official stream of the current year. Can you believe that? 2025 is upon us, and as is tradition on these streams, we're going to kick off this year with a bang by telling you, and I guess helping you, find ways that you can become the guitar player that you've always wanted to be in 2025. Now, this is no small ask, but we've had lots of great success with some of our goal-setting streams that we've done in previous years. I'll tell you more about that as we go on, but our objective today is not to do a one-session transformation, magic transformation to turn you into Guthrie Govan in the space of, what do we have, 57 minutes left together. No, that's not the objective of today. Today's objective, rather, is to help you chart a course, help you figure out what it is that you should be looking at this year, how you should prioritize your time, what you can expect to achieve, how you can expect to achieve it, and some best practices for having a very productive and fun guitar playing year. Now, before we go further into that, I want to take a second and shout out today's sponsor. It is, of course, once again, our friends at Ciari Guitars, playing the Ciari Ascender today. This has become an invaluable tool for me as a traveling musician, but also as a practicing musician. In case you guys aren't familiar, this guitar literally folds in half. There's like a neck joint here. You pop this, I'll just show you very quickly. You pop that, and then the guitar literally, whoop, folds back in half on itself, and more importantly, returns to tune. Let me just do some pre-flight checks, because these strings are getting a bit old now, making sure that they're where they're supposed to be. I think we are good. Kaboom! There you go. And returns pretty much in tune. Now again, any tuning discrepancies there we can blame on these slightly aged strings. I do play this guitar quite a lot, so the strings are seeing a lot of wear, let's say. Just going to quickly retune that. With a fresh set, these would be absolutely bang on the money in tune. Now, Ciari have got a special offer for you guys. You folks who are interested in getting hold of one of these, they are extending their holiday offer out to you. Now, this is something they've been running up until today, based on the website. They've been doing $250 off a Ciari Ascender and backpack combo. Now, the backpack's the important bit, because you've got to be able to take this guitar somewhere. You need to be able to put it in a bag, and they provide a really nice backpack as an optional extra. Well, you can get $250 off the offer by either hitting the link down below or by entering the code GI250. That is GI250. I'm actually going to throw this up on screen for you real quick. Code GI250. This code right here, enter that at checkout, you will get $250 off your Ciari Ascender with the backpack. It's a really cool guitar. You want one of these. We'll talk more about why you might want one of these instruments and why it might facilitate your improvement as a guitar player in 2025 as our stream goes on. But before we do that, we've got to say some hellos. So let's quickly check in with the stream and see how folks are getting on. Marcin is the first in the door. Marcin, great to see you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody in the stream, by the way. Ciari Godslayer is here. Response Audio is here. And he says, I was struggling with my chord voicings up the neck. So over the past couple of weeks, I created a little exercise around a 12-bar blues in G. I'm interested to see where this goes. Pardon me, little cough. I try to walk a bass line through the changes, moving up and down the neck, and when I hit a chord tone in the bass line, I try and finger the appropriate inversion of the chord along with it. That is a really cool idea for an exercise. I like that a lot. Like, for example, when I'm on the C chord, I walk up and hit the E. I play the C7 voicing that has the E at the bottom of it. Nice. I really like that. That is a very cool approach. These little exercises that we devise for this stuff is... It's a big deal. We're going to talk about this more. The reason I'm not elaborating on this now is I'm going to talk about that more as we go further, because it's a very cool thing. So, going to star those comments up because we love a bit of that. By the way, if you have questions, don't forget, we're going to be answering your questions as we go on with this stream. So drop your questions in the comments if you have them. PJ is in the house, says, hi Nick, hi guys. Sounds like a great approach, RA. I agree, 100%. Timothy Appling is in the house, says, hi Nick. and Monday Guitar Show guitarists, starting another year of advancing our fretboard knowledge. You got it. Turning you into fractionally better guitar players than when you arrived. That's our goal. Larry Warren's in the house. Who else do we have? Going to say some more hellos. PJ has been trying to play more acoustic this year. Just been playing Paint It Back with John Connon. SHIT. He's got a long thumb. Next time I see John, it's going to be an arm probably. I'm going to get a tape measure out. I'm going to measure his thumb. Some guitar players got weird thumbs, man. Some of us have really strange thumbs. George Benson with his like backwards bending thumb. I have double jointed thumbs, so my thumb does this, right, which is the subject of much amusement in my various bands. Like it's weird, man. It's a strange looking thumb. But John Collins' long thumb, we're going to keep an eye out for that. That has tickled me. Paul Cornish is in the house. Time to get back into guitar playing, get some strength back in those fretting fingers. You know it. Helmet Strap is in the house. Lovely to see you. Just a quick reminder, by the way, this is the link you can go to get your discount. It's exclusive to viewers of this stream, so they're not doing it for anybody else. The offer ends today unless you happen to be viewing this stream, so click through, you know what to do. Cranker Tom is in the house. Lovely to see you. Been excited for what 25 is in store on Mondays. I found an old Dave Kilminster lesson from GT magazine covering Gypsy Jazz. 45 seconds only, but quite a challenge. Gypsy Jazz is a very interesting discipline, right? 100%. Janet Bartlett is in the house. Lovely to see you. Franz is here. Steve Ford is here. Mark Crandall is tuning in the house. He's been learning some intervals with the Fretboard Freedom Master Plan. Glad you're enjoying it, man. Hey, you know, if you want more information on that, links will be down below. We also have a free lesson for you today, by the way. I'll tell you more about that as we go on. Midnight Blues is here. Lovely to see you. Mike Seedorf is in the house. Robert Petrie is here. Robert, lovely to have you on board. Happy New Year to you too. Chicago Timmer is in the house. Lovely to see you. Can't stay at work now. We'll catch the replay. Don't forget you can catch the replay on YouTube. Don't forget to give us a subscribe while you're there. Our friend Dr. 34M5, who I still haven't. Is it Dreams? Please tell me that says Dreams. Dreams. It says Dreams. I've been pronouncing this the whole time. It took me till this year to figure out it says Dreams. Dreams is in the house. Lovely to see you. Shadrach is in the house. When's the next Lick Library membership sale? Keep your eyes on the mailing list. We'll let you know as soon as it's live. Ergo Hog is here. Block 18 is here. Steve McD is here. Ergo Hog says, love the 12th fret inlays on that. Well, now that we've seen it, they're not even inlays, right? The inlays are cool, but it's also where the guitar folds in half, right? Sick. Really, really good fun. Now, who else do we have? Richard Pratt is in the house. Missed the last couple of weeks. Try not to let that happen again. Hey, man, we're glad to have you here. Mark McNish is here. Who else do we have? Dylan Jessup is here. Mal Riley's in the house. I think we've said hello to everybody, but I'm going to answer this question now. Hello, Nick and fellow students. Does it come with a case that fits it when folded? Yes. This is the case. I'll show you this right now. So this case is the handheld case, comes with a shoulder strap, but what you also get is, as part of our deal, you also get a backpack, which I have sitting on a shelf up here right now. Now, it has my camera bag on top of it, and I would dig it out, but I fear for the avalanche of gear that would happen. But somewhere up here on a shelf, we got the Ciari bag. I brought it in the backpack today. Their backpack is cool. I've actually used the backpack, truthfully. Several times, I've taken this guitar away with me on tour as a spare. I've taken it with me as a hotel room guitar when I've been filming stuff for Lick Library and for GI. I've actually taken just the backpack when I've had the luxury of taking several guitars. The backpack itself is really nice, so took the backpack. Where is it made? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is made in the US of A. So anyway, really cool guitar. We'll talk more about that as we go further, because of course Ciari are a sponsor today. We love those guys. They're just good eggs, right? They make a really good guitar that we can all use to play anywhere you like. First guitar on the moon, maybe. Who knows? It would certainly fit into the overhead locker of a spaceship. Let's put it that way. So, on to the meat of today's session, which is how we can set about becoming the guitar player we've always wanted to be in 2025. Now, this is somewhat hyperbole because we all know it takes more than a year to a guitar player make. But that doesn't mean we can't make this a banner year for guitar playing. We won't set our sights like unreasonably high and say this is going to be the best guitar playing year I've ever had. We all like those kind of statements, but really what we're looking for is we're looking for a good year that really advances us towards our goals as a guitar player. Diego is rightly pointed out, no truss rod cover as always. That is a me thing. I take my truss rod covers off, right? I take them off, just like I don't bin them. It's in the bag. It's in the front of the bag here. I've kept it, but I'm always adjusting the truss rod. Always, without fail, right? I have them off on all of my PRS. I have it on the Maybach for some reason, but I have it off on all the PRS. I've currently got it still on the Baum. Oh no, the Baum doesn't have one. So there you go, right? Baum is kicking around up here. You guys met that last week. Latest addition to the stable. Yeah, I just don't believe in him. Right? It's a religious thing. So anyway, back to the subject. So how can we reasonably expect to quantify the progress that we're expecting to make for ourselves in 2025? Well, let's talk about it, and let's begin with some discussion on setting reasonable goals. Now, this is point number one, right? Setting goals for your guitar playing. Now, here's the thing. We've done some streams on goal setting before. We're not going to go completely to town on the goal setting thing. If you want to check that out, just check out goal setting. Search for that you'll find it on the Guitar Interactive YouTube channel for sure. It's one of our previous streams where we talked about some evidence-based goal setting practices. But when people talk about setting goals, they talk about some interesting concepts, let's say, that may or may not appeal to us as guitar players. So we frequently hear this idea of SMART goals bandied around. SMART goals. We're getting more questions about the guitars. Last question. Is it bolted on? It is bolted on. Yeah, bolt on neck. It's not a glued neck. It's a bolted on neck. Bolt on neck, but it's metal, this part of the neck. So very, very sturdy. Yeah, anyway. So goals, SMART goals, right? I don't think when we sat down to play the guitar for the very first time, when we first picked up our first guitar as baby, insert guitar player here, as baby Nick, I certainly did not pick the guitar up and go, do you know what? I can't wait to practice my scales for 5 minutes on a Saturday. That's what really gets my gears going as a guitar player. Did you? I don't think so, right? I mean, I could be speaking out of term here, but most of us, we picked up the guitar because it's cool and it's fun, and we want to have a lot of fun with this instrument. We want to crack this musical and mechanical puzzle. We want to become a head-turning stage... what's the word? Stage straddling guitar colossus, perhaps. Who knows? Right? I've watched too much Greg Koch. Maybe that's it. Watched his interview with Rick Beato recently, and it's just so good. I love me some Greg. Now, we didn't sit down and go, hey, look, right, I can't wait to practice. But we all know that practicing and doing the little things is the thing that makes the world go round, as far as the guitar goes. So how do we square this circle, right? How do we get from the little goals that we know we should be working on to the big goals that we actually want to achieve? And I want to know from you guys, by the way, I want to know if Fairy Nick, this is me, had a magic wand. Let's say, for example, do I have a magic wand? I don't have a magic wand, I have a magic screwdriver. That'll do. I've got my magic screwdriver. I wave the screwdriver and I grant you a guitar playing wish. Let me know in the comments what that would be, right? And dream big here, right? Dream big. What's your guitar playing wish? For me, like, I would like to be like Guthrie Govan plus 10. Sure, if you genuinely ask me, and I think if you genuinely ask any guitar player and they're answering honestly, they're probably going to come out with something like that. You go, look, if you could have anything, what would it be? They'd be like, I'd love to be Derek Trucks, or I'd love to be Stevie Ray Vaughan, or I'd love to be Steve Vai. You know, insert guitar player here, right? We don't sit down and go, you know what? I would love Ideal Universe to be, you know, a perfectly competent guitar player. Yes, that's a very admirable goal, right? Sure, 100%. But that's not our dream. That's not our dream as guitar players. We dream big, right? So we can accomplish working towards these big dreams by structuring our goals in an intelligent way. And this is the evidence-based goal setting hierarchy that we've talked about in previous lessons. So PJ wants a thumb like John Connon. Right, there you go, right? I wave my magic wand and now your thumb is the length of two men's thumbs. Poor John, he's getting a rinse in here, right? But yeah, maybe, who knows, we need that long thumb. That's obviously John's secret. John is very tall, by the way, so maybe that's something to do with it. Poor guy. Anyway, so hierarchy of evidence-based goals. If we start with our big dream goal up here, this big dream goal is what we might consider to be our superordinate goal. It's the way we use it in the evidence base. The superordinate goal. And the superordinate goal is ultimately what we want. What we want could be something along the lines of, these are the things we ask when people, like, we say, hey, look, what do you want? People, I want to be a great improviser. I want to be a fantastic blues player. I want to know my way around the fretboard and, like, just know it inside out. I want to be able to play perfectly by ear. Richard Pratt's got the one. I want to be able to play like Joe Satriani. This is a good goal, right? Hey, people, I'd be happy playing Satriani. Everybody loves a bit of Satch today, right? There's nothing wrong with that. We love some Satch. In fact, is that a Satch signature model in the picture? Very cool guitar. So, yeah. These are the kind of things we're talking about. Right? These are the big goals, right? So, huge goal where you go, look, right, okay, kaboom. Like, I want to be able to play like Joe Satriani. Great. Now, I want people to be honest with these goals. I don't want to be like, kind of, you know, like namby-pamby about it and go, well, I'd like to practice my scales. We know that's coming, right? But that is not the kind of goal that is going to get you out of bed in the morning, right? To sit and practice your scales. We know we've got to do it, and we've got to frame it in a way that will actually make us do the thing. So this big super ordinate goal up here, you can imagine that as your guitar playing destination. That's where we're going, right? That's where we're going. So we'll frame this again in the terms of the magic screwdriver wand. I wave the magic wand, and I don't know why it's a screwdriver. It's just what I had handy. I've got a torch as well, if that's any better. I've got a torch and an empty bottle of Coke Zero. We won't wave that on the screen. But yeah, you get the gist, right? We wave the thing. We go, okay, destination. We're going to go somewhere. Where do you want to go? And you go, well, you know what? Like, I feel like where I'd really like to go is Dubrovnik. You go, oh, okay, cool. Dubrovnik's very beautiful. Right, nice. Right. How do we get there? Dunno. Well, we're stuffed, right? We're never going to Dubrovnik. So what we need is we need a route. We need to play a way to get there, right? So we need a goal. If we just have a route, we go, I'm going to go places. What places? Dunno. It's no good, right? So we have a place we're going to go. This is our big goal. Play like Joe Satriani. We're going to use that as our example, right? Well, how do we get there? How do we get to play like Joe Satriani? Well, we need a few things. We need to have really great technique, especially our legato technique. We need to have a comprehensive understanding of the kinds of music theory that Joe likes to use in his playing. For example, Joe likes to use modal interchange a lot. He talks about it as the pitch axis style of playing. We also need to have lots of blues repertoire in our playing because Joe has loads of blues in him. And we need all of those things. Well, now we're starting to get a little bit of a pathway. We're starting to have these little goals that are kind of like pointing towards our big goal of playing like Joe Satriani. These are our routes. So let's pick one of those routes. Let's pick the route of, I need to have really great legato technique. So to be able to play like Joe Satriani, I need to have great legato technique. Now this is good because now we're getting somewhere that we can actually work on. We can actually work on some stuff. Larry Warren's in with a great comment saying, find your own voice. Great, we're going to start that up. That's very cool. David Paul would like to learn more about harmony guitar parts and different scales, including the pentatonic. This is great, right? Helmut Strap would love to be as versatile as Charlie Starr, wouldn't we all? These are all great goals, right? These are really good. We're going to stick with the Satch one, though, because you guys kind of got in there first with that. You got first to the door. So, Satriani. Our goals are to play like Joe Satriani. Cool. Well, we've established that there are several things we need to do. We need a route, and our routes to playing like Joe Satriani are things like great legato technique, music theory, fretboard knowledge, blues repertoire, all that good stuff. The tone as well. The tone is important. Learning to be okay with some very questionable tones. We love you, Joe, but some of those tones, whoo, some of them were the greatest tones you've ever heard, and some of them, yikes. But that's part of the fun. That's part of Joe's whole bag, right? And we love him for it. Now, here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. So we need great legato technique. Sure, cool. There's our route. We can call these goals our intermediate goals. These are intermediate goals in that they are steps that take us, or routes that take us to our ultimate goal of play like Joe Satriani. But the route is not getting us there, right? We're going to go back to the Dubrovnik analogy. Go, okay, how am I going to get to Dubrovnik? Well, I need to get to this airport, and then I need to get on this airplane, and then on the other end, I need to get on a taxi, and that will take me to that lovely harbour that I saw in Game of Thrones. I think that's the one. I don't know, anyway. Whatever series it was in, there. Right, that's where we're going. Cool. It's no good if you don't actually do it. So if we know the route, we understand how we're going to get there, Well, we've got to actually take steps on the route. And this is where our bottom level of goals come in. And these are what we're going to call our subordinate goals. We have a superordinate goal, which is the thing we want to achieve. This is the destination. We have intermediate goals. These are the routes, the pathways we're going to take to get there. And then we have subordinate goals down at the bottom. These are the steps that we're going to take along the goal path. And these are things like, okay, I know to play like Joe Satriani, I need great legato technique. So I need to practice my legato. What am I going to do? Well, these goals should be as detailed as possible. So I'm going to go, right, look, Andy James, somebody mentioned Andy James. Andy James has some courses on Lick Library. They're going to teach me about legato. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these Andy James courses as part of my Lick Library membership. And then I'm going to practice the legato part of this every day. Perfect. Now what have we got? Well, we've got an actionable, small little goal. But it's not a small little goal in isolation. It's not like, oh, well, do this because you should. We can see how clearly this will lead us to our larger goal of, in this case, playing like Satch. Now, here's one of the best things about this, right? We can have loads of these little subordinate goals. Loads and loads and loads of them. And you don't need to do all of them. This is my favorite bit, right? My favorite bit is this kind of goal. Structuring hierarchy has two qualities about it. One quality is that everything we do on a downstream goal services some aspect of our big upstream goal. So we can consider anything we do in pursuit of our goal, any little goal that we touch on as part of our goal to play at Joe Satriani, we can consider that a win. So if you have 5 minutes on a day and you go, you know what, I'm going to practice my legato playing, right? I'm going to take some scales and I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to play. Enough time sunk into that, just a small amount of time, you have serviced your goal of playing like Joe Satriani. But there are also other aspects of this too. What it means is that not only does your goal, does any goal count as a win, servicing any goal counts as a win, but also, here's the really cool thing, is every goal that we set can serve multiple upstream goals. So for example, we take that, I need to practice my legato technique. Well, we practice legato technique, so we practice scales, right? And we can set our technique up, so we go, okay, I'm going to take my G major scale, and I'm going to practice playing this along with, let's say, I don't know, a backing track, right? So I've got this cool backing track here that I'm going to play along with. I'll actually play my D major scale because this is an E Dorian backing track, but we want a major scale to play. So I'm going to play a major scale here. I'm going to throw this Led Zeppelin backing track on, and I'm going to play like this. Let's start with the one that begins on G, which will be the G Lydian shape. Made a little bit of a mistake there, that's okay. Too busy reading the comments. Now, what are we accomplishing here? There's many things, but the first one, and most obvious one, is we're improving our legato technique, right? Cool. Has this serviced any of our upstream goals other than just the legato technique? Yes. It has improved the legato technique. It has improved our ability to visualize the fretboard because we're playing scales. It's improving our ear because we're hearing what we're playing along with the backing track. Any little bit of practice that we do can be framed as servicing all of these upstream goals. Now, the beautiful thing about this is it is exceptionally motivating because what do we got? Well, we've got these tiny little goals we can act on, and any combination of acting on these little goals, any combination of those. Mark Crandall says timing. It's absolutely improving our timing too, for sure. Like all of these things, right? So any one of these little goals that we act upon at the bottom of the hierarchy is servicing our ultimate goal of playing like Joe Satriani. here's the other good bit, right? Well, the last bit on goal setting is this, a procedural memory, says PJ. My goodness, yeah, we're in with the big terms today. You're absolutely right, 100% right. So here's another thing. If we recognize that any of our downstream goals can service our upstream goal, we don't need to do all of them every day. We can just pick a couple and still win the day and still do the thing that's going to make us a better guitar player. Let's set an example of this. Let's say, for example, you've played your legato passages until you're blue in the face. You've done 3 days of it and you go, oh God, I'm just sick to death of practicing my legato scales. All I want to do is play some blues. Well, does that service our goal of playing like Joe Satriani? Yes, because it's part of our vocabulary. We go, I'm going to learn some blues licks. And you go, well, how does this help me become Joe Satriani? Well, it does, because we know we need blues vocabulary to play like Satch. So, yeah, does this service our ultimate goal, our superordinate goal of playing like Joe Satriani? Yes, indeed it does. I'm just trying to minimize some reflections in the pick guard here. It's quite annoying. It is my switching macros, which allow me to do fancy things like this. So let's say, for example, you know, I'm done with my practicing of my legato technique. Well, I can do this. I can sit and play, okay, blues licks. I'm going to learn this lick here. Is it bluesy-ish? That's fun. Does this allow me to win the day? Does it allow me to work towards becoming a better guitar player, work towards becoming Joe Satriani? We keep saying Satch because a lot of guys ask about it. This is just one example, right? Yes. And this is really cool because every day we get to stack wins. We get to take things that are going to make us a better player. Things that are practice oriented, things that we know we need to work on, but we can see how they go together into the bigger goal. We've taken some time to frame it. This in turn will empower you to work towards your bigger goal on a big daily basis, and it is stacking those wins that makes all the difference. Now, let's take another analogy for this. Let's talk about why this is important, because we're going to use the other analogy of fitness. Now, I talk about this quite a lot because I'm a bit of a gym rat. You guys know I've got some medals over there. Hey, look at that. Participation medals, gold swimming trophies, all that sort of stuff. I jest. They're from my powerlifting competitions. Hoping for some more this year. Fingers crossed, we're going to go to British Nationals. It'd be very cool as a masters lifter. So, aka old man. But we'll get there. So anyway, now, let's take the example of fitness. Now, we do not become fitter, stronger, healthier by doing one almighty gargantuan gym session every month. And we do not become fitter, stronger, healthier by dedicating 3 weeks of our life to some kind of David Goggins-esque self-flagellation where we go, you know what, I am going to run an ultramarathon every day. You ever ran before? Nope. Cool. Right. And I'm also going to lift weights every day and I'm going to eat nothing but carrots. And you go, right, cool. That seems unsustainable. And how much progress do you realistically expect to make in such a short period of time? The answer is probably not a great deal. So we can recognize that in fitness, this is not the way things work, right? What we do is we make small dents every day. We make small alterations to our lifestyle. We go, you know what? I'm going to just say no to that biscuit, right? I had a couple of biscuits already. Biscuits not off the table. Biscuits, for our American friends, cookies. I'm British, so we say biscuits. Let's say cookies, right? I'm going to just say no to that cookie, right? And for breakfast, maybe I won't have the sugary cereal. Maybe I'll have something a bit better for me. And then, you know, I know I should exercise some more, so I'm just going to do like 10 minutes. 10 minutes, what's that going to involve? I'll do some push-ups and then I'll go for a walk. Perfect. Stack this up over the course of months, years, you'll be in the best shape of your life. And the same goes for guitar playing. Guitar is not grown The guitar skill is not grown in single Herculean sessions. And in actual fact, the Herculean sessions that we tend to put in, they don't do as much good as we think they do. There's kind of a diminishing returns thing going on here. Jada Barter is here. I think the biggest problem with this is most of us are impatient and lack consistency, for sure. Totally agree, right? So consistency is key with this. And there are some ways we can foster consistency. The first one is with our goal setting thing. So we recognize that all we got to do is tick the goal box every day to work towards our ultimate dream goal up there. We tick the goal box and then you go, right, I'm done. That's cool. You want to tick more goal boxes for that day? Fantastic. Make sure you tick a goal box every day. Here's the other thing with regards to consistency. This is where our sponsor comes in. A quick reminder, today's stream is brought to you by Ciari Guitars. They are, once again, running their, just in case you missed it, in case you're tuning in right now, you missed this earlier on, Ciari are running an offer for Lick Library and GI viewers. This is just for you guys, right? Literally just for you guys. Their winter offer ends today. Literally today, but for you guys, they're going to honor this offer for the entirety of January, right? So if you want $250 off a Ciari Ascender, this guitar I'm playing today, which kicks ass and folds in half, right? It's a great guitar. It's a really good guitar. You can go to this link, or you can use the code GI250, that's GI250, for $250 off this guitar and the backpack, which you want the backpack, right, for what we're about to talk about. So this leads me to my next point. The next point is to remove barriers between yourself and practice. So this is point number 2. Remove barriers between you and practice. What does that mean, Nick? Well, what does that mean? Well, here's a great one from Mal Riley, just following up with the fitness thing. It's like going to the gym and working out a little at a time and not burning yourself out. For sure, 100%, right? Let's imagine, I want you to imagine how much you could physically accomplish in a single gym session. You join a gym, it's £0 membership or $0 membership. You join, you get a week for free, and you go in on one day and you crush yourself. And you, what do we really realistically think we're going to achieve in that one session? We can atone for something? I don't know. We can go, I'll make up for all the things I ate over Christmas. Not realistically going to achieve a whole great deal, but you'll absolutely be able to make yourself sore and potentially ill and tired. And then are you going to come back the next day and train again? No, you're sore. I'm never doing that again. It was awful. And then, you know, terrible. Whereas, go into a little bit. Just work a little bit towards your goals. I'd like to get a little bit stronger. I'd like my arms to be a little bigger. I'd like to be able to walk longer distances, not get out of breath going upstairs. Cool. Great. Perfect. These are good goals. We like them. Go and do a little bit. Come back the next day, do a little bit. Don't burn yourself out. Same is true for guitar. Now, similarly, we talk a lot in fitness about removing barriers between yourself and exercise. This includes things like, for example, always having your gym gear in the car, which is something, I keep my gym stuff in the car, right? I even have a little laundry basket in my car that once I've worn something, in it goes. I have a wash bag and towels in my car. So if I'm somewhere, I don't have to go home. If I have to go and do some kind of professional engagement and go to the gym, I can shower, I can wash, I can turn up fresh. I don't have to go, oh, well, I'd have to go home. We remove barriers between you and exercise. Now, this is where removing barriers between yourself and practice comes in. Let's talk about some of the barriers that we face with practice. And one of the most obvious barriers is just not really feeling like you want to practice because it's a pain in the neck, right? Setting up your guitar, getting your guitar out of its case, plugging in, all that sort of business. It detracts a lot of people, right? You've been at work, it's been a long day, right? You walk in, you're confronted with a pile of dishes. You do the dishes, you've got to take the rubbish out, right? You've then got to go and do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. You sit down, you've got half an hour to yourself, right? The kids have gone to bed, your significant other is watching her crafting programs, I don't know, whatever. And you go, right, I've got 30 minutes to myself. What am I going to do? Am I going to play on my phone? Or I'm going to grab my guitar? And you go, well, the guitar is in a cupboard or a closet for our American friends downstairs. I don't know, man. Seems like a lot of work. I'd have to get up and then I'd have to drag my amp in, out of the car. Oh, no. I'm just going to sit and play on my phone. Whereas, if the guitar is to hand, if it is ready to go, you're going to play it. Now, this only really works if the guitar is good. and if something you're playing through is fun. So let me talk you through what I do. Now, you can see that I've got a wealth of instruments around me. Now, this place that we're shooting from right now, this is not in my house. This is a studio space that I rent because I want somewhere I can make loud noises, right? I've got some cabs tucked away in another space. We can fire the cabs up, we can mic them up and make some big sounds, right? So this is not, this is a place I have to go to do work. And as a result, spend a lot of time here, I do a lot of work here, I'm very lucky that I get to play guitar, I'm very lucky that I get to have a little studio space that I rent. But, here's the deal. All of my main guitars, all of my big weapons that I want are here. Why? Because I'm going to need them for professional engagements. If I need P90s, and I own one guitar with P90s, my PRS McCarty soap bar over there. If I'm on a session, remote session, I need P90s, and it's in the house, it's no good to anyone, right? I've got to make a 25-minute, 30-minute round trip. Terrible, right? No good. So what I do is I keep all my guitars here, and I keep all my amps here, but I have a practice setup that I keep at home. And the practice setup is this guitar. This is my practice guitar, right? Why? Because it plays great. It's really good fun, and it's really small. So this I can like fold up, and I can put it under my desk, right? So I don't worry. My partner is very understanding, but I don't have to worry about, like, you know, leaving guitars out on show. It's really easy to have this folded under my desk, and I just pull it out, unfold it, click it in place, it goes in tune. Now for you, this may look like having an instrument that is ready to go at the drop of a hat, right? It's just ready, it's just there, it's out, it's looking at you, you can see it, and you can go, you know what? I'm gonna pick that up. Now, you may be thinking, well, I have lots of instruments, I'm gonna have them all out. You'd be amazed how much this doesn't work. Having low, because you just sit at them and you go, this is really cool. Which one am I going to play today? Should I play that one? Should I play that one? That one? That one? They all look good. Maybe I should play this one. You spend more time picking a guitar than you do actually playing the thing. So having a guitar that is just, this is the guitar I pick up when I practice. This is my practice guitar. That's the way. Now, don't feel tempted to turn this into some kind of self-flagellation exercise where you have a guitar that's set up that's really hard to practice on. This guitar's tough, and this guitar requires me to be strong and work really hard so that when I play my actual guitars and enjoy it, I'll have so much of an easier time. Don't do it. Make your practice guitar something that you really love playing. You pick it up and you go, yeah, this is cool. It stays in tune. It's nice. I like the way it looks. All that sort of business. Now, what do we plug into? Well, several things. I take this with me most places. It fits in the Ciari backpack. If I'm going teaching or I'm going jamming with friends, I'll take this with me. What is this? This is a Victory Jack V4 amp. I'm a Victory artist. You guys probably guessed that. Lots of Victories out there. This is my go-to little amp in a box. I can plug it into a cab, I can plug it into a PA, I can plug headphones into it, I can run pedals into it. It fits in a backpack, like the backpack that you can buy to go along with the Ciari guitar, which again, $250 off this package. Now, that's one thing I take with me, and if I'm playing somewhere, if I'm teaching, sometimes I'll go to, I do a couple of days a week in a local university, I'll take this with me. Why? Because it's always nice, and if I'm on my lunch, I'll maybe practice because it's fun. So if I have this set up and I'm enjoying it, I won't go, do you know what? I'm going to go for a walk on my lunch. I'll go, do you know what? I'm going to practice on my lunch. And then I've got an hour of practice. But that's not all, right? I'll also show you this. This guy comes everywhere with me. This, I'll show you on the close-up cam, this is a little Fender headphone amp. Now, lots of headphone amps exist. They've done a better one of these since. I haven't felt the need to upgrade just yet. Boss do a really good one. I think Harley Benton even do a quite cheap one. This goes in my gig bag everywhere I go. I've actually took it out of the Ciari gig bag to show you. So it just goes places with the Ciari guitar. Why is that? Because this means no matter where I am, if I've got a pair of headphones on me, which I also keep in the bag, I've got something I can plug into. I can take my guitar out, I can plug in, and I can play. Now, there have been times, and I'm not ashamed to admit this, right? There have been lots of times when I've had this guitar in my car, in the backpack, in the knowledge that there's going to be a period of time where I don't have anything to do. I've got nothing to do, right? So let's say, for example, I am taking my partner Nina somewhere. Let's say, for example, she's going to meet friends. She's going to meet friends in town. She's only going to be there for 90 minutes, right? What am I going to do? I'm going to drive 20 minutes to take her in, and then what? Like drive another 20 minutes home, practice for half an hour, get bored, play on my phone, and then drive 20 minutes back. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find a car park. I'm going to get this guitar out. It's in my boot. Unfold it. Get this out. Headphones in. And I have 90 minutes to sit and practice. It is great. It's so good. I've done this loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. This comes to a hotel with me, right? So when I'm traveling for Lick Library, for Guitar Interactive, this guitar comes in the backpack. It's light, it's easy, right? This comes with me. Now this enables me to clock so many more practice hours than I would if I had to have the planets align in order for me to practice. If it was like pandas mating, where everything has to be perfect for me to get any practice work in. And I will encourage you, friends, to do the same, right? To do the same. So what does that mean? Well, it can mean all sorts of things. Have a dedicated practice guitar and make it a guitar that is good. Have something you can plug into and something you can listen to tracks on. So your phone is a good shout. Other good examples, for example, in the house, I play through a little Positive Grid Spark Mini, the little square guy. That's really good, right? It works really well. You can plug into a laptop, anything. As long as you've got a guitar with you, it's a practice guitar, you go, this is the guitar I practice with. You're not having to be anxious about it. You're not having to dig guitars out of hard cases, deal with big cumbersome ABC, XYZ. Crank Guitar is a great example of this. He's Team Spark. He's all over the place. He's always tuning in from somewhere else in the world. It's cool as, right? Love a bit of that. Here's a great one from Mal Riley. He says, taking a guitar as a carry-on for planes without paying extra is good. Well, this one literally fits under your seat. So yeah, I'm fizzing about this, but Ciari make a great solution here, right? This is a guitar you can take in an airplane. You can literally walk on with a backpack. The laptop goes in there as well. You've no excuse to not make music. Now, having that and having some easy setup you can plug into, gold, right? It is gold because it will make you want to practice. And this in turn will allow you to service those goals that we talked about earlier in this stream with the minimum of disruption, the minimum of disruption. So that's 2 points, right? 2 points. Point one is establishing goals, setting goals, and setting reasonable goals and understanding how they service your big dream goal. Dream big, work small, right, is something they'd probably put on some corporate thing. I don't know, right? But if they haven't, they should. You know where I am. Anyway, so that, remove barriers from practice. And this doesn't just apply in your home, it applies wherever you go. When you go on a camping trip, take a guitar with you. Take a guitar with you, right? And take a guitar that you want. When you're traveling, make it a guitar that's good. This is probably the situation where the guitar matters the most. So I've said on record a few times that I feel like the amp is the most important thing. Get your amp right. You can plug most guitars into it. If they play well, they'll be fine. I think when you're traveling, having a guitar that is nice, it's the only time when the guitar is more important than anything you plug it into, for want of a better term. Now, this leads me to point number 3, right? Point number 3 for supercharging your goals in 2025. We're going to address this comment from our friend Nick Harrison, which is a great comment. It says, short term is where all the progress happens. Long term is the accumulation of short term work. For sure. Now, I'm going to paraphrase the great Dr. Austin Baraki, who is one of the physicians and coaches at Barbell Medicine. I'm a huge Barbell Medicine fan, right? I run their programs. This is how I train for powerlifting, for health, all that good stuff. Just a great source of fantastic information on a variety of subjects. He came up with a quote that has stuck with me since I heard it, which is this. Most people, I'm going to paraphrase it as all people, right? Everyone will overestimate what they can achieve in a short period of time. You will overestimate what you can achieve in a day, a week, a month, but you will underestimate what you can achieve in a long period of time, a year, 2 years, a decade, right? Crazy. So I'll take myself as an example, right? So let's stick with fitness because it's easily quantifiable, right? I have had periods of time where I've gone, you know what, in the next 6 weeks, I am going to add 20 kilos to my deadlift. It almost never happens. But I've been training for powerlifting specifically 7 years now. And I've gone from the first day I deadlifted, which was 100 kilos, quite a good starting point. But then, I've gone from there to chasing a 300 kilo deadlift, which is not world class, but it's something. Now, I would never have dreamed on day one that 300 kilos is something I'd be looking at, but here we are. It goes to show, you will always overestimate what you can achieve in a short period of time, underestimate what you can achieve in a long period of time, but those long-term goals are made by stacking up these wins. So we're going to go to another point with this. Here's a cool one from Mal Riley saying, what about when you can't sleep at 4 a.m, get up and practice for half an hour, then go back to bed? If you can't sleep, what are you going to do? Sit there and toss and turn? Guitar is waiting for you, right? Headphones, plug them in, you don't disturb anyone. Get this guitar out, sit in a quiet room furthest away from the bedroom so you don't wake people up, and have a little practice. I've done it. Is it the most productive practice ever? No. Is it the most switched on you'll ever be, or the most creative you'll ever be? Probably not. Is it the ideal practice environment? No. Is it better than no practice? Yes. Right? Something, always better than nothing. Now, this leads me to point 3. And point 3 is to engage in the thing that we actually do when we play the guitar. Do the thing that we're actually trying to do here. What is the thing that we're trying to do? The thing we're trying to do with the guitar is not to improve as a guitar player. That is not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do with the guitar is we're trying to make music, right? We lose sight of this in pursuit of all of these transient goals of, I want to be better at playing scales, I want to understand the fretboard better, I want to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. We don't want to lose sight of the big picture, which is making music. Now, what does this look like? Right, making music is as follows. Well, it's not as follows. Making music is anything you want it to be. It is anything you want it to be as long as you are creating something. You're playing something, you're creating something, you are interpreting an existing piece of music, you are using the guitar for self-expression. Now, when the guitar becomes like Kung Fu, and we sit and we practice the Kung Fu, and we never do a match, it becomes something that we must master, it can get tiresome quick. I know this as somebody who has a greater than average drive to master the guitar, right? To master the guitar. Now, it's fun. Mastering the guitar is great. Practicing is great. We're working towards our big goals. This is cool. Don't lose sight of what the guitar is for. Make music. Now, what is this going to look like? It can look like improvising to backing tracks. It can look like playing with a friend. It can look like starting a band to play in your garage or to play in the local, local rehearsal room of choice. It can look like booking a gig. It can look like, play at the Dog and Duck and play Smoke on the Water for 6 people. Best time of your life. I guarantee you. You've never done it before. It is so freaking cool. Write some music. Record some music, right? Film your improvisations. Upload them to social media. Do some stuff. Do some things. Make some music. I want to know in the comments, right? How many of you actually make music? How many of you are actually recording, playing, gigging, being a musician? The thing that we actually, we picked the guitar up to do. Let me know in the comments if you do. Let me know in the comments if you don't. Right? Now, you do not need other people to do this. You can be a one-person show. We live in a golden age of music making. Here's the other thing, and I'm giving you a license on this. It doesn't have to be good, right? Your music does not have to be good to be worthwhile, right? Music and the act of making music is worth doing for its own sake. For its own sake. You don't have to be good at it, right? Just do it. Just do it. Richard Pratt saying, started doing a lot of what you're saying. I appreciate that, man. That's kind of you. Now, hey, you know what? I think it's a route to success. I think it's a route to fun and fulfillment as a guitar player. Why? Because this allows us to use the things that we've been working so hard at. It's not the what, it's the why. It becomes the why. Mark Randall says, I've only ever played with friends, but you have played with friends. That's making music. That is making music, right? Here's a cool one from Rajesh Gumba. It says, I'm more interested in playing the songs that I like to listen to. You're making music. That is making music. You're playing songs. Now, what happens when we play a song, right? We play a song, we are performing music written by somebody else, but we're putting ourselves into it, right? We're applying the techniques that we've learned. We're putting the rubber on the road. This is what I'm talking about, right? Playing some cover songs, sitting and playing on your own to a backing track, that's making music, right? That's making music. Playing with a cover band, same thing, right? The only difference is whether or not there's an audience there. The audience is secondary, right? The audience is secondary. That's very fulfilling to go and service an audience, but ultimately what we're doing is we are making music with the guitar. Bernard Newton is constantly recording, even just to analyze your playing. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Analyzing your playing is good, it's healthy, but let's not forget that when we're playing, we're also making music, right? You can record yourself and go, hey, that was good. That bit not so good. I'll work on that, but that bit was good. It's important to remember that. Here's a great one from Mike Seedorf. 4 albums recorded with his band and gigging 2 to 3 times a month. My man, you are living the dream, right? I love a bit of that. Franz records himself playing with backing tracks every weekend. This is important. So I'm going to challenge you as guitar players, before we go to the Q&A section, to make 2025 the year where you make more music. So how does this feed into itself? Well, we practice, we get better. The music we make becomes more fun. And then it drives us to practice more and pursue our goals more. Why? Because we're enjoying it more, because we've got something to work towards, right? We've got something to do with our music. We have an outlet, and it's not just, I'm practicing the guitar. Why? Dunno, right? We have a why, we have a how, we have a what. This is a recipe for success, folks. Folks, we're going to answer some questions. Before we do, quick reminder, shout out to today's sponsor, Ciari Guitars, who are running their winter offer. It's going to be running all the way through January exclusively for Lick Library and Guitar Interactive viewers. You get $250 off this guitar and the backpack that goes along with it. Click the link down below or use the code GI250, GI250 at the checkout. You'll get $250 of this, the Ciari Ascender, with the whichever one you want. There's lots of them. There's a solo P90 if you want. That's really cool, with one P90 in the bridge. This is the Ascender with Seymour Duncans, right? Pair of Seymour Duncan 59s. Killer, right? You get stainless steel frets. It folds in half. It's set up. It's plecked. It's freaking great. Like, what do you want, right? It's a cool guitar. So, enough of that. We're going to answer questions. If you have questions, let's get them in as quickly as we can, because I've waffled enough. It's been a lot of fun talking about this stuff. I think it's important, but let's answer some questions. So, first one through the door. Rajesh Gumba says, what is the cost of that model, Nick? Well, let's find out, right? Let's go to the Ciari Guitars website. And I'm going to share this with you guys. So let's just quickly pop my screen on. So we'll find out what's going on here. So, share screen. We're going to do this one. New tab. And let's go to Ciari Guitars. Why not? Right, so hopefully you guys can, yeah, this one? Sure. Hopefully you can see that. Cool, right, so this is the Ciari Guitars website. We've value your privacy, yes, cool. Access to exclusive deals, accept, yes, accept, that's fine. I know the guys, they're not going to mess me up. So let's go to Shop Guitars, and let's go to Ciari Ascender Standard. This is the one here, right, that I'm playing today. So these guitars retail for what is it, $17.99, which for a guitar of this standard, it's a friggin' steal, right? The amount of engineering that's gone into this, it's crazy. Look at the back, right? And also, find me another guitar that does the same thing and isn't just a piece of shit. Don't want to be mean, but so many travel guitars are cack, right? They're just awful, really, really bad. This is a guitar you'll actually want to play. And if you're going to be doing this, right, if you're going to be doing this travel guitar business, you'll want a guitar that you actually want to play. So that, there's a backpack there too. Whatever the total is, take $250 off that just for watching this stream, right? That's it. Can't say fairer than that. So that is, yeah, that is the, how do I get rid of this? Get rid of that. There we go. That's the price. Now, you want this, right? I'm telling you that right now. Now, I would say this because they're sponsoring us. Take that with however many pinches of salt you want. How much does the Ciari weigh? Well, let's gauge it based on the only test that gym rats understand, the lateral raise test. I would guess somewhere in the domain of 7-8 pounds, give or take. It's quite easy to do this with. It's the only test I know. This is how I figure out this is how I figure out what things weigh. Like, what exercises can I do with it? So that's the question from Response Audio. So yeah, Marl Riley says 7 pounds. Yeah, that jives. I haven't looked it up. I'm just guessing, but I'm quite good at guessing lateral raise weights because I'm a gym rat. Now we're going to answer some more questions, right? Let's just go through as many as we can very quickly, or take a point on this one. Larry Warren has expressed that his goal is to find his own voice. Let's quickly work through this. And let's see how we might accomplish that. Well, the first thing that we might do is we might take that big superordinate goal of find my own voice, and we go, right, well, what do I have to do to find my own voice? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to know what it is that you like and what you don't like, right? So a big part of that is to listen to music, listen to a lot of music and figure out what it is that you like about music. So listen and analyze. This becomes a stream. Now that's a very easy thing to service because anytime you're in the car, you can put music on and you can listen to it and go, that's cool. I like that. That's not cool. I don't like that. Having an understanding of the things that you're interested in and why you like them is important. The next thing we have to do is we have to engage on a voyage of musical discovery as a guitar player, in the sense that we have to explore our playing consciously, from the sense that we want to engage in what we're playing and figure out what it is that we like about our playing and lean more into that. So we want to improvise and we want to play freely, but we want to observe and course correct and go, oh, I like that. I'm into that sound. I don't like that sound. I do that a bit too much. I should do it less. So we have two courses. We have listen and analyze, improvise and course correct. That's another one. Other things might be to learn things from guitar players that you like the sound of, little tastes. Every guitar player is made up of the DNA of multiple other guitar players. You can trace these lineages if you go far enough. A really fun one recently. So, been listening a lot to Zakk Wylde's Pride and Glory album in the gym, because Horse Cold War is a guaranteed PR song. Every time. But I've been listening to that album in the gym quite a lot recently. It's a great album. That's where I listen to music, right? Listen to the car, listen in the gym. And you can hear all of Zakk's influences in that album. You can hear little bits of Sabbath, little bits of Zeppelin, little bits of Robin Trower, bits of country. It's super cool, right? And by learning these bits from guitar players that you like and synthesizing them into something that's your own, these are paths that we can take to our big goal of finding our own voice. Now that's quite a little brief look at it, but that's sort of part of how you might approach that. Here's one from Dreams, who I finally learned how to say. Let's be honest, being a guitarist, being accompanied by women and beers while playing AC/DC chords in the smoky club backroom. Right, listen, I still do this in the regular, right? So I'm lucky enough to play very cool venues in very cool places all across the globe. It's great. I still go out on a Saturday night and play Akadaka with my friends, because why? I get to make a racket with my pals, right? And it's so much fun, right? It's great. The money is terrible. Doesn't matter. Who cares, right? There's nobody there has the first idea who I am. It's not going to advance my profile or my career in any way. Do I care? Not a sausage. I get to go out and play Highway to Hell with me mates, and I'm living the dream. Here's one from Crankatom. Thoughts on top wrapping Les Paul? I'm pretty disappointed. I have tried it. It's fine. I don't like the way it looks, for one thing. I like the look of a normal tailpiece on a Les Paul, but I'm going to give you a trick, right? And for this, I'm going to grab my friend John's Les Paul, which is kicking off down here. This is a trick that we picked up. Exclusive setup tricks. But this is my buddy John's Les Paul. Very cool guitar, right? Now, John is with me. He's not a top rapper, right? Not that guy. But I'm going to show you this if I can. Now, take a look at the tailpiece. That's a bit wild. Now, what we've done here is top wrapping purportedly makes the strings easier to bend by reducing this break angle here. But you can also reduce this break angle by raising the tailpiece. But what we've done here is we've cranked the tailpiece down on the low strings, cranked it down as far as it'll go, and then we've raised this on this side, on the treble side, as far as it will tolerate. Literally, we've cranked it as far, and what it gives us is a progressive tension across the strings, where the low strings feel stiffer, like they're not top wrapped, but we get almost that pseudo top wrap feel on the high strings. So it's a setup trick worth doing. I've also done a thing with a guitar player friend of mine, Craig, where he wanted a little more stiffness in the low strings and liked the feel of top wrapping in the treble strings, so we half top wrapped, and we like kept these normal wrapped and then half wrapped these. Slinky bendy strings, tight bass strings, you get the gist, right? So that's a fun thing to experiment with. Just a little setup trick. If you want to kind of go down that road. These things are fun. They're worth experimenting with. The worst that's going to happen is it's going to cost you the price of a pair of strings. Folks, It's been a lot of fun, right? A lot of fun. I have really enjoyed. Oh, here's a quick one. We got some great questions. I wish I had time to answer them, right? I wish I had time to answer them. Ask me these questions again next week. Right, next week, ask me the questions again, I will answer them, right? Same goes for you, Frostbite WR. Come and see me next week. We'll do the same thing, right? We're here every Monday. Every Monday. While you're going out the door, right, give this video a like, share it with your guitar playing friends. Consider going to ciariguitars.com, getting your own Ciari Ascender. It's great. Right, it'll improve your practice no end. It's certainly done wonders for me. Folks, I'm going to see you all next week. We'll be back with another stream. My name's Nick Jennison for Guitar Interactive Lick Library. Don't forget to go to ciariguitars.com, get your exclusive discount, right? It's $250 off this just for you guys. Nobody else gets that, just for you. Link down below, or use the code GI250 at checkout. I'm going to play some more. I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to tune in. It's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun. We'll see you next week for more of the same.